Hello, plant lovers, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the absolute fundamentals of plant care. Whether you're a seasoned green thumb or just brought home your very first leafy friend, mastering the basics is the key to a thriving indoor jungle. And it all starts with two critical elements, water and light. It might sound simple, but getting these right will make all the difference, I promise. So grab your watering can, find a comfy spot, and let's get ready to help your plants flourish. First up, let's talk about the lifeblood of every plant, water. Now you might think, I'll just water them every Sunday, but hold on. This one-size-fits-all approach is one of the biggest mistakes new plant parents make. Overwatering is actually the #1 cause of houseplant demise. It leads to root rot, where the roots essentially suffocate and can no longer absorb nutrients. So how do you know when to water? The golden rule is check the soil. For most common houseplants like pothos, snake plants, or monsteras, you want to let the top 1 to 2 inches of soil dry out completely between waterings. The easiest way to check is with the good old finger test. Just stick your index finger into the soil up to your first or second knuckle. If it comes out dry with no soil sticking to it, it's time to water. If it feels moist and soil clings to your finger, hold off for a few more days. Simple, right? But what about cacti and succulents? These desert dwellers have evolved to store water in their leaves, so they need much less frequent watering. For these guys, you want the soil to be bone dry all the way through the pot before you even think about giving them a drink. This might mean watering them only once every few weeks, or even once a month in the winter. The key is to know your plant's specific needs. A quick online search for your plant type can give you a great starting point. Now, let's discuss how to water. When it is time to give your plant a drink, do it thoroughly. Imagine you're mimicking a natural rainstorm. Pour water evenly over the entire soil surface until you see it start to drain out of the holes at the bottom of the pot. This ensures that the entire root ball gets saturated. This method is called deep watering, and it encourages the roots to grow deep and strong in search of moisture. After you've watered, make sure to empty the saucer or cache pot underneath. Never ever let your plants sit in a puddle of standing water. This is a fast track to root rot. If your pot doesn't have drainage holes, first, I'd highly recommend repotting it into one that does. But if you can't, be extremely careful. Water very sparingly, and maybe even add a layer of pebbles at the bottom to create a small reservoir, though drainage holes are always the best option. Remember, it's always better to underwater slightly than to overwater. Plants are surprisingly resilient and can often bounce back from being a little thirsty, but recovering from root rot is a much tougher battle. All right, we've quenched our plants' thirst, so let's move on to their food, light. Just like water, light is not a one-size-fits-all situation. Different plants have evolved in different environments, from the sun-drenched desert floor to the shady understory of a dense rainforest. Bringing them into our homes means we have to try and replicate their natural light conditions as best we can. Let's break down the common types of light you'll find in your home. First, there's direct light. This is the intense, unfiltered sunlight you'd find right in a south-facing window. It's perfect for sun lovers like succulents, cacti, and palms. However, be careful, as this intense light can scorch the leaves of many other plants. Next, we have bright, indirect light. This is the holy grail for a huge variety of popular houseplants, like monsteras, fiddle-leaf figs, and most philodendrons. Think of the light in a room with an east-facing window, which gets gentle morning sun, or a spot a few feet back from a south or west-facing window. The area is bright all day, but the sun's rays aren't hitting the leaves directly. This is the ideal condition for many tropical plants that grow under a forest canopy. Then we have medium light. This is a spot that's further back from a window or in a room with a north-facing window. It's not dark, but it's definitely not bright. Many plants can tolerate medium light, but they might not grow as quickly or as lushly as they would in brighter conditions. Plants like the ZZ plant, snake plant, and some pothos varieties are champions of medium light. They might not thrive, but they will certainly survive and still look great. Finally, there's low light. This describes a corner far from any window, or a room with very small or obstructed windows, like a hallway or some bathrooms. While a few plants are marketed as low-light plants, it's important to understand that no plant can survive in no light. Photosynthesis requires light. The plants that tolerate low light, like the snake plant and ZZ plant, are really just very slow growers that can endure these conditions for a long time. They won't put out much new growth, and variegated plants might lose their coloring, but they will hang in there. A great tip is to rotate your plants. If you have a plant in a low light spot, try moving it to a brighter location for a week every month or so to let it recharge, and don't forget to dust your leaves. A layer of dust can block light and hinder photosynthesis. A gentle wipe with a damp cloth every few weeks will keep them clean and ready to soak up all that glorious light. So, how do you know if your plant is getting the right amount of light? Well, your plant will tell you. If a plant isn't getting enough light, it might start stretching or becoming leggy. This means the stems will grow long and sparse, with large gaps between the leaves, as the plant literally reaches for a light source. The leaves might also be smaller than usual or turn a pale green or yellow. For variegated plants, you might see their beautiful white, cream, or pink patterns start to fade back to solid green. On the other hand, a plant getting too much light will also show signs of stress. You might see scorched or crispy brown spots on the leaves, or the colors might look faded and washed out. The leaves might even curl downwards to try and protect themselves from the intense rays. The best thing you can do is observe your plants. Take a moment each day to really look at them. Are they leaning heavily in one direction? If so, they're telling you they need more light. You can rotate them a quarter turn every time you water to encourage even growth. Are the leaves looking pale? Try moving it a little closer to the window. Are you seeing brown spots? Maybe move it a few feet back. Becoming a good plant parent is like learning a new language. You just have to pay attention to the signals your plants are sending you. So, to recap our journey today, water wisely and light brightly. For watering, always check the soil first. The finger test is your best friend. Water thoroughly until it drains out the bottom, but never let your plant sit in water. It's better to be a little dry than a little too wet. For light, understand the difference between direct, bright, indirect, medium, and low light, and try to match your plant's needs to the conditions in your home. And most importantly, observe your plants. They will communicate their needs to you through their leaves and stems. Learning to read these signs is the most rewarding part of the plant care journey. Don't be discouraged if you lose a plant or two along the way. It happens to all of us. It's all part of the learning process. The key is to keep trying, keep learning, and keep growing. Your confidence will blossom right alongside your beautiful plants. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and talking about the fundamentals of plant care. I hope you found these tips helpful and feel more confident in looking after your green companions. If you enjoyed this video and want more plant care advice, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss our future videos. Let me know in the comments below what your biggest watering or lighting challenge is. I love hearing from you all. Until next time, happy planting.